going to be the TF versus Victor matchup. It's going to be a Diamond 1 TF versus Diamond 1 TF, or Victor. Referencing and comparing that to Dopa and Challenger. Challenger, like Challenger Master player, or like yeah, he's like top Challenger, Victor player. The Diamond 1 player on this angle is me, and I'm versus a random solo queue lane opponent in NA, and we're gonna compare that to I think it's either the Chinese server, which is the super server, or I think I'm about to see the Kara server. I'm not too sure which one. I haven't even watched the replay yet, so we're gonna see in a second what language it's in, and we'll know which server we're actually playing in. So okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're gonna see Dopa played out first. This is the Chinese server, the super server, and right off the bat, we're gonna go ahead and press red card, and this is all very normal. And the reason is we're gonna look to red card, and we're gonna just red card the backline wave. Our jungler is Sejuani, and fortunately we're not gonna know what the opponent jungler is for Victor, but that's okay. We're gonna throw the red card out. This is really good. Again, for the people who always are obsessing over fundamentals, red card, AoE, kite north, click back. This is fundamental. This is really bad by Victor. Victor should actually move upwards, not down. This is really bad because if TF throws the gold card in the middle, it ends up hitting Victor, and obviously that's really fucking bad. Dopa moves back, obviously, because he's on cooldown. And the opening here is going to be triple red onto backline, and then we're going to see how Sejuani plans to play it out and who the enemy jungler is. And Dopa here can actually play the lane a little bit slowly if he wants to, but in this case, asserting immediate dominance with the red card. And again, we're going to do the triple red card, and we're just going to kill off the backline as soon as possible. And this is hard shove and maximum tether on our E, or against Victor's E. Now here, again, we're actually saving blue card, and there's a number of opportunities we can do, and this is actually a very crucial time in mid lane. This is not a freeze. This is not a freeze. Okay? This is a bounce back on wave 2, and we can also bounce back on wave 3 if we hard shove really hard. This is only beneficial, obviously, if we want an immediate lane defensive state, and we know that Sejuani isn't gonna meet up with the scuttle, and there's actually nothing to do around the map. And if Sejuani ends up clearing the full jungle, meaning that the opponent jungler can't actually invade, and obviously there's no counts to protect on our side of the map. So we're gonna go ahead and blue card him here as the minion dies to the tower. And this is just very basic, and we see Victor actually starts Q here. So this has been Dopa's opening. Let's compare what I did to him now. So again, I'm playing TF. This is Diamond 2, Diamond 1 Elo, and I'm versus another Victor, or I'm versus Victor in about the same rank. So we're gonna see how we play it out, and I think he's running barrier, I believe. Right here, I'm gonna auto, and this is fine to do because again, Victor is not actually in lane. He just realizes, and same, I'm gonna do the same opening as as Dopa. However, as you notice, the opening is it's met with more resistance as this guy actually moves up north in order to evade my my W damage. And again, I'm on cooldown. I don't know if Victor started E or Q or whatever, so now I'm going to max range tether the E, stand here, and work on this minion first. And this is all that's going to happen for now, until I can find another red card. And again, I want to red card the backline minion, get immediate dominance on the lane. This is okay. It's not very good. I set up the lane really poorly here. I could easily auto red card, and this would shove a little faster. This actually allowed Victor to get some leeway inside of the lane, where I don't actually even damage this minion, and this minion doesn't actually take any hits. So this is actually pretty bad by me. So already right off the bat, my initial lane setup was just a lot worse than Dopa. And at this point right here, I am playing against, I don't know who the opponent jungler is, but I do have an Elise. So my lane openings could look a lot more aggressive. Whereas Dopa's openings may also look a little more passive because it is, you know, relative to the jungle matchup. So we are going to talk about that. Again, as you can see, I'm just shoving in. Yep. We shove in. Now wave 2 arrives, and again, am I going to bounce back? This is the same situation that Dope was actually in, where my wave and his wave are in the same angle, roughly the same angle. And now, do we shove in wave 2? Do we not shove in wave 2? Why would we not shove? We could shove in wave 2 if if the jungler is there's gonna be some aggression around the river. We could continue to shove and then bounce on 4. There's a lot of things we can do for a lot of different reasons, and we're gonna go over all of it. So, right off the bat, again, we're gonna see Dopa again, and again, Dopa actually opts to shove in wave 2, and then actually autos Victor here. I think he autos Victor because Victor's on cooldown on Q, and this is really good by him. The way he actually does this. So let's see how this actually ended up working out. Victor ends up using Q, so now Q is on cooldown, and notice Dopa knows that Q is on cooldown, and notice how he walks in. And this is this is something that most Diamond players, most NA players, and even some Grandmasters in NA don't do this, where you can also just auto him without even using a spell. Even though we're on cooldown, Victor is going in for this minion here. Victor is on cooldown, so we can auto use our pick a card and then move down, kiting these minions into us, and this is really good. Yep, he could just auto. Unfortunately, it seems like he backed off here because he believes that Victor's Q is probably still up. I'm not sure about the exact cooldown on Victor's Q, but I'm assuming that it's about 6, 7, 8 seconds, where the auto here is fine, but I think going back in might be a mistake because Victor's Q might actually just be up. So Dopa's movements are actually just really good. And now here we're opting to hard shove the second wave in as well, and we can bounce on 4. This is really fine. This is completely fine to do. Yep, and again, notice what we do. We don't actually go in for when Victor goes in for the CS. Victor wants the CS, but we're not going to bother. We're actually just going to go ahead and use our autos to destroy the backline reds that we're about to take on right here. And the reason for this is because we're on cooldown and we can't actually abuse anything that Victor does. And Sejuani is on Wolves, so Sejuani actually picks a very offensive clear, which we may just see some early pressure down onto the right-hand side jungle. And relative to what's happening onto the right-hand side of the map, this guy might just gank, and so we're just going to push in, and then we're going to actually move down as well if the opponent jungler could potentially be there. The opponent jungler isn't there, we're just going to hug onto the right-hand side, and then we're going to let Fiora know that enemy jungle is top lane, so just be careful. Dopa, again, forces the third wave into the tower. Constantly just pressuring, because he knows there's no point of Sejuani actually ganking. And again, same concept. We're just looking for the pick a card on red, and we're going to do this as we trade on for the cannon. Now, this is, again, really good. So, because Dopa is looking for the cannon here, and he's also trying to AoE Victor as he goes in for CS. However, not going to find it, which is fine. Otherwise, we would actually want to go in as Victor goes in for a CS, so I'll explain when exactly. If our card was actually up, we don't want to go in yet. We could actually go in now. But we want to immediately run away, and we want to hit a red card as soon as possible, because the red card will obviously end up AoEing all the minions here. Victor will have Q, but it won't actually reach us. Then we just obviously max range E, but we can potentially land W right around here, or right around here, and then run away in time. And this is really good, because even if we get traded on, the wave actually still pushes in. We don't want to lock the fourth wave. Sejuani's on Scuttle Crab here, so we're just going to hard shove the third wave in as well. And as fourth wave arrives, fourth wave actually ends up locking. And now Dopa's in a bit of an awkward spot inside of the lane. Alright? So now we have to shove. We can't last hit, because the wave is in a semi-lock. The opponent jungler is probably on the left-hand side. So in this case, what we could have had done, we could have hard shoved and we could have walked up to our raptors to protect them. If we protect our raptors, this actually gives us complete information on the enemy jungler on the left-hand side, and now we know exactly what their clearouts are because we can see their CS. We know if they end up taking any of this CS, and if so, maybe the game time. So if the game timer is at like 3 minutes and 35 seconds, let's say, for example, and we kill off the fourth wave, we actually can move down into raptors. Check if the opponent jungler shows. If they show with, let's say, 24 CS, we know that their entire left and right side is gone, meaning that around potentially 3:45 is the recall timing, And then it's gonna be right side initiative for the enemy jungler around 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So we can actually just calculate when the opponent jungler will actually arrive onto the right hand side of the map if we just simply move in and then we drop a ward here, or we just scout, knowing that if they started on the right hand side, their only routes are to go like this, can't really gank top lane, maybe invade the right side jungle, because if Sejuani shows, then the opponent jungler can read Sejuani's CS, and obviously then we can know that the opponent jungler is thinking of invading, and thus we can respond like that. Okay, and that's always really beneficial if we are looking for a constant push inside of the lane. Again, positioning ourselves to the right hand side of the lane, notice we actually only take south side pockets, and this is again because of the fact that all the action is down onto the right hand side, and this again is wave 4. So let's do a quick recap. So this is wave 4 coming in. We crashed wave 4, and at this point now we are going to go ahead and go back to my game and see what I do. So again, this is wave 2 coming in from my side of the map. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. What the hell am I doing here? Yeah, again, this is wave 2. Now, in wave 2, we see Elise onto the Wolves. So we see Elise on Wolves. I'm assuming, and I think at this point in the game, the opponent jungler was on the left-hand side of the map. If the opponent jungler had pathed down like this, because we know that he's not going to hit Kennen. Sorry, he's not going to hit Malphite, because Kennen actually can't kill Malphite early on, assuming maybe it's like a Zac or something. Again, I don't even remember who I was playing against in this game. It was like literally yesterday, and I play a lot of matches, so whatever. Then, if that's the case, and he does actually end up pathing down, my goal as TF is to actually just hard shove this wave and hard shove the next, because I want to have pressure and priority and control of the lane when the right-hand side camps, or when the right scuttle actually ends up spawning. If the right crab spawns and I can retain advantage, and maybe if Malphite ends up, maybe if Kennen opts to mess up his wave state and ends up bouncing back at the wrong time at 3:15, maybe then we can run to double crab with having some level of priority on Malphite. But that's highly unlikely, because Kennen has complete control of the lane. And a lot of this has to do with like drafting, and you can compare a lot of this shit to like pro play and whatnot, but we're not going to go into that right now. Anyways, going back to my game here. So again, this is wave 2, and I am just shoving. My micro is really bad here, by the way. I'm not really moving correctly in the lane. If my goal is to actually shove, right here I should have waited. I could have easily red carded as this guy. Like here I could have just red carded, but I don't red card, and obviously that's a mistake. Victor moves in, but Victor's movements are also very bad. And again, this is high diamond, right? Like high diamond players that we just aren't able to lane properly. And again, here I'm positioning myself on the left-hand side, away from where my jungler is, putting myself inside of a really awkward state in the lane where I could potentially get level 2'd, unless it was like a Karthus or an Evelynn or something that's very defensive, then it's fine. But even then, it's not really good. Again, this is still really bad, because why am I positioning him to the south side? The reason this is bad, even if it's a defensive jungler, is because if I can position myself south and force this guy to be diagonal of me inside of the north side of the lane, these pockets inside of the yellow circle are a lot more awkward to dodge around than it is in the south side. Therefore, me moving north actually gives Victor more breathing room inside of the lane. So this in itself is just bad laning, right? Also, if Victor ever opts to move inside of this little death alley here, then I can always just use a Q here, and then that almost always clips him. Not to mention my red card can also ricochet onto him using, if I just hit it towards the tower. So a lot of things happening here, and I'm not really playing too well. And Victor actually has a very light freeze, and this is really bad. Now, although, yeah, the way it's pushing into me because of the HP of these two cannons here, or the two minions here, I look for the red card. This is really, really bad. Why am I going in on him when he has all of his abilities up? I have no idea. I just go in for whatever reason. I'm trading arbitrarily. I'm trading because I feel like it. I'm not even trading because he doesn't have a last hit to take. He has both of his abilities up. I lose unnecessary mana. The wave's coming back into me. I can wait for the wave to return into me and see what Elise's next routes are. And I don't do that. Instead, I just trade like a complete fucking moron, and I end up taking a bad trade, and now I just ward down. Yeah, and then obviously I have a potion going because I just lost a trade, but whatever. And now at this point, again, I want to see what Elise's routes are. I don't know where the enemy jungler is. If the opponent jungler is on the left-hand side right now, then I can simply let the wave bounce into me, force Elise to come into me in mid lane while simultaneously protecting Raptors. It's the same clear that Sejuani actually did. So it's a really interesting game to go over. Sejuani cleared like this. She did red into wolves, into blue, into whatever she's doing now. The minimap is really tiny. And this is actually the same thing that Elise is doing, and pretty much I'm just comparing what wave control routes are relative. What my wave management like story is relative to Elise's movements. Unfortunately, I don't let the wave bounce back into me. I'm afraid of trading against him. I randomly Q. This is all just really bad laning. And now my red card is up. I'm looking for a W onto him as my red card is up. However, it just came up. It was like on a 0.5 second cooldown, and I didn't manage to land it. This is, again, this is obviously my fault. And here, I just lose trades against Victor. Victor's level 3. So his Q is just going to nullify anything I actually do against him. And again, I take a really bad trade. And at this point, my lane is butchered relative to the HP of, you know, his minions. So if the lane is just pressing into Victor at this point, I don't want to play the lane here. This is all really, really bad. Because Elise is on the right-hand side. Elise is taking Scuttle Crab, whatever. Enemy jungler, maybe he's showing here, maybe he shows here. Either way, it's bad for me because if I show on the left-hand side, or if I show this deep into the lane, and the opponent jungler is left, I just die. And that's really bad. Then Elise is forced to take Crab, but that could also be met if bot lane actually ends up having priority, and then we end up losing that. But yeah, so this is all just really bad. At this point, the only call would be to just crash the wave, and then go down to the south side, and then just support my jungler. Even tethering against Victor is really, really dangerous, unless I'm very confident I know where the opponent jungler is, and I have wards. The recall here is, I can't recall, it's not a cannon wave. And now here, just let the wave come into me. This is the 4th wave. This is the 4th wave, and here I'm just waiting. Now, I see Elise actually invading, and at this point, we're just getting information on the opponent jungler. So now, because I see Elise invading, and we do see, like, something is about to happen inside of the right side jungle, I'm going to go ahead and push, because if the opponent shows, I'm going to be ready. Again, we don't see him on the right-hand side, so we know the opponent is probably somewhere like here. Maybe he moved into our jungle, therefore my decisions is going to be back to the south pocket, and all I can do here with the ward is I can move down and I can protect Elise's raptors. So my wave management already doesn't really benefit me much. It doesn't seem like the opponent jungler is really aggressing onto me, even though my wave management is really poor, but you can get away with this kind of stuff. I'm F-king bot to see if I should teleport down, and again, seems like Victor was, I don't know what he was doing, but he got hit by me with there, and yeah. Now the wave is coming into me. This is wave 5 and 6 returning into me. And now, because I know that if Elise gets this kill here, what's going to end up happening is this wave, if I can thin it properly, I can play against his mana, I can lose a bit of HP, it's fine. And if I can have the wave here for a short amount of time, Elise could actually route down like this. Check raptors, which are most likely gone, and then maybe do golems, and then reset for the back onto the right-hand side where her Gromp is going to spawn. Unfortunately, it seems like Elise actually opts to do something else. But regardless, I should just thin it because I don't want it to crash. Unfortunately, I thin it too much, and now the wave is actually pushing on the opposite angle to Victor. And this was wave 6, so again, going back to Dopa. Let's see what the hell happened here. Dopa just wants to crash. Kind of unnecessary to do that, it's really bad. Actually, no it's not. No, it's pretty bad. You don't have to do this. This is weird. Why are you red carding? Just let it come into you. You're giving up, like, bone plating. Also, I could have gone bone plating against this. I have to know that I always lose this matchup. You're giving up bone plating, and you don't actually harass Victor. Victor has no obligation to position himself towards this minion while last hitting this. He can easily move like this because this minion is not like in super last hit range. So even red carding this doesn't really make sense. And then obviously if you go like this, you have to run away because if Victor lands E on you, then it just becomes really becomes bad. And it seems like that actually did happen, and Dopa got chunked a little bit, but whatever. And now at this point, Dopa's just gonna hard shove, and doesn't seem like much is happening right now. He does actually tab, so let's see what the jungler is. It's Vi, okay. Vi again on the left-hand side. We have 2 wards. Vi could show up here, but doesn't seem like that's happening. We're just we're literally playing the game out as though Vi is not here, which we actually see her on the left-hand side of the map. So I'm an idiot. I actually didn't notice that because the mini-map is so tiny for some reason. We see Vi on the map, and now Dopa feels really good, right? Dopa feels really safe right now. Now, obviously, we can determine what Vi's routes were. just off of her CS. So we're gonna catch the tab real quick. 17. So basically, what Vi must have done, she may have started on the left hand side, which she most likely did. She could have done something like 4, 8, 12, I don't know, 16. 4, 8, 12, 16. Or I don't know. It could be a number of reasons why Vi is immediately recalling and not choosing to take one of her right side camps. And this could be more to do with how top lane is being played out. Because if Fiora can't get the crash, then any left side camps that Vi has can actually affect top lane a lot. But we don't actually know. That's okay. Is there going to be another session with Autumn in the near future? Yeah, there's going to be 3, 4 more sessions with Autumn. Well, there's one session that he knows of, and then the other 3 I'm gonna talk to him about that. But the goal is to have 3 more sessions with Autumn. Yep, again, we're positioning on the left-hand side, and this is completely safe to do. Vi is not actually here right now, and we are just going to take the recall, and this is, sorry, we're not going to recall here. I'm an idiot. The reason we're not going to recall here is because that is a cannon. Can you take the recall here? You can, actually. And the reason you can take the recall here is because Victor has no teleport, I think. And if he doesn't have teleport and he doesn't have any mana, it becomes really good for us. Because then he can't actually shove in the cannon. He can't shove in the 9th wave plus the 10th wave in time before Dopa can then arrive, because Victor's actually just out of mana. Now, what Dopa could actually do is he could just constantly pressure down Victor with blue cards and just start attacking his mana pool, and that's exactly what ends up happening. And we see Vi on the left-hand side, and again, at this point, we can bait, and we just want to protect Raptors, because Vi will invade our Raptors. Raptors are level 1. I think this was actually a patch where rubber banding was still a thing. And I mean, I guess it's whatever. Even now, you can probably still do it. It's not necessarily having to do anything with rubber banding. But if Sejuani passes by Raptor camp and Raptors are level 4, you know that Raptors have actually just respawned. And if Raptors are level 1, we know that she hadn't actually taken them when she did show with 17 CS. And relative to that, you can actually time what camps are actually are up on the left-hand side, which camps are level 1 versus which camps are level 4 on the respawn. Right? That's very advanced, and that's really, really subtle. But for more of a simplistic way to really put this is you can simply just look at Vi. She's on the left-hand side. She's probably sitting at like 25, 24 CS. 22 actually right now. She showed up into bot lane with 16. So basically what she actually ended up doing is she ended up taking one more camp on the left-hand side, which we knew was up because she showed onto the right-hand side with 17. So she must have taken one more level 1 camp on the left-hand side, and now I think she could have gone like this or something, right? And then she might have eaten like 2 CS from like lane or something like that. I don't really know what she did, but we know she's on the left-hand side. That's all you really need to know as a laner. And Dopa here again, just constantly pushing the lane, aware of where Vi is, and doesn't actually put himself in any awkward position. This recall is interesting. It's fine because it's a cannon. Okay, yeah. Again, you only want to recall on cannon minions. You notice how Dopa only aligns his recalls on wave. So you can align your recall on 3, which is that we can do the cheater, the 6, the 9, the 12, and the 15. Right? This is why you don't necessarily have to count minion waves, but while you're laning, you can feel which wave, like wave 1, wave 2, cannon. Wave 1, wave 2, cannon. Wave 1, wave 2, cannon. Right? Wave 1, wave 2, cannon. You can just do this over and over again. And this helps you time out when you need to push, when you need to crash, right? When you need to build, right? Etc. Because you can essentially have a sequence. If I build wave 7 and 8, I can crash on wave 8 and I can recall on 9. I can't build 6 and 7 and recall on 8. That's not okay. Because if you build on 6 and 7, or if you build on if you build on 6 and 7 and you crash on 8, 8's not a cannon. You lose 8 and then 9 and 10 bounce into the enemy. So again, this is how you pretty much just coordinate your recalls or whatever. Going back to my Dogwater gameplay. By the way, last season I was literally 100 LP playing TF. in Master Tier, and I stopped playing mid lane for a year. I picked up jungle. I hit Diamond 1 with jungle, and holy shit. Coming back to mid lane feels like a different game, to be honest. So we are kind of stuck in high diamond for a little bit, but that's okay. And now this wave is actually pushing into us. Elise actually loses her Raptor camp. Doesn't she? No, she doesn't. She has it. She has it. Okay. Sorry, I got mixed up with who invaded what in the games. But jungler probably back onto the right-hand side at this point, whoever it is. And now here, again, I'm just waiting. This is okay, I guess, but it's not very good because the wave is coming into me, and I don't really have a plan. I don't really have incentive going into the lane. It feels like to me that I'm just hitting waves to hit waves, run away, trying to catch all the CS, and then praying I don't get ganked. There doesn't seem like there's much of a sequence anywhere. And then obviously I'm bringing teleport, which doesn't help either, which allows me to just, you know, it cushions any like errors I make in lane. Although in high diamond, teleport is fine, and it seems like this is a cannon wave that is being pushed in, and I make a TP play here, I guess, which we end up just winning. I don't know if I win this game or not. I don't remember. I think I do. No, I actually don't remember. Now here, don't hit the wave. Now I'm playing in high diamond, and I'm very tilted, right, from some of the routes that Elise was taking early. So I end up gold carding, or end up red carding this. This is bad. This is a freeze. If there are more reds than blues on our side, Kai'Sa, Morgana recall, Elise goes like this. You gank again. Ignore left side jungle. I go back to mid. I shove. Malphite bounces the lane back. Opponent jungler can't do anything. We just win the map. But I'm an idiot, so. I actually fuck up her lane state. Oh my god. Because now the next wave is arriving, and she actually loses tempo. Ezreal actually... Sorry, that was Kai'Sa for a minute. Ezreal actually loses tempo by doing this. And you can see the difference between high diamond solo queue and like master challenger, right? After we've killed this wave off, let me explain. Hold on, let's go back. After we've killed this wave off, if this is wave A, and then we're killing off wave B. Sorry, if we kill off wave A and we push it in, we lose out because wave B ends up arriving and wave B locks. Now we have to kill wave B. And now by the time we're done killing wave B, the enemy is now in mid, back in bot lane. Ezreal is now in base. Morgana can't do anything. Morgana is forced to take a roam timing that's extremely it's not beneficial because it doesn't give us any benefit to invest any resources up on top lane. My lane is going to be pushing in, so it's pointless to even do anything. And there's no objectives to actually take aside from the fact that we're just taking out dragons, so it's really worthless for Morgana to actually run anywhere across the map, unless this is like a permafreeze, but we don't actually quite know that. So doing this is just really bad. So now what ends up happening, if we shove out wave A and we lock wave B, we have to shove out wave B. Wave C and D actually are now in... wave B, C, and D is now actually in control. And then I lose tempo in mid because then obviously the Victor can get bounces against me. And then once he's level 6, he's just looking for CS advantages with the Hexcore upgrade. So all in all, this is just it's actually screwing me over. It's screwing Morgana's tempo over. And worst of all, it's actually hitting Ezreal the worst. Because now Ezreal's lane could actually be over. And if the opponent jungler paths down to the right-hand side, if a lock is like permanently done there, we just lose bot lane. So we actually are losing our laner, the game, by trying to help him. Like shove the wave. Now as you can see, Zillion ends up arriving. And now, I don't know if that's a lock or not. But you see that Ezreal and Morgana are they're like frantic. They're trying to destroy the wave. I think they do get the bounce back. Ezreal ease away. And now it's really bad. Because now what happens is now Kai'Sa can kill wave B. Or sorry, this is wave C. And kill wave D. And then the two waves coming after wave D actually come back into Kai'Sa and Zillion. And if the opponent jungler's on the right hand side, which he won't be, but whatever, then bot lane's over. Whereas what we could have just done is we could have just frozen early on, and we would have won. We would have been completely fine. Because then Elise can just give up her left side camps, re-gank bot lane, and then Malphite and I can't really do it effectively because of Malphite, but, you know, I can try to defend her left side camps. But it doesn't matter, because if we give up 3 left side camps on the red side jungle, and we get bot lane ahead, this is just so good. Because by the time that Elise attempts to recover her left side jungle, I can hit bot lane again with my ulti on the bounce. But you know, Diamond 1. Anyways, I'm level 6 now. I'm just looking to wave clear. And then Dopa here in this case, let's see what he does. Hard shoves. At this point, you just want to hard shove. You don't actually want to stay in the lane. You are TF at level 6, and we're just looking for an ulti. And let's see what Dopa actually does with the minion wave after the gank goes off. Vayne is 100% dead. So Vayne dies, and now here, what are we doing? What's the plan? Are we going to shove? Here we can shove. Because I think the wave is pressing in. Yeah, and the reason I think the wave is pressing in here, the minions are kind of everywhere, but because the clash is so close to Victor, or not Victor, but Varus, and Varus probably has an item advantage coming in, Varus could actually shove this in, and probably return, because Vayne is dead for 15, so I think it is, I think it's actually okay that they shove. But obviously, if there were more reds, and there weren't as many blues, and this becomes a permalock, and Victor doesn't have like a major item spike, then you can actually win. If you have a scaling AD carry versus a non-scaling AD carry, when I say non-scaling, I mean a champion that does scale but not as strong as the other champion, then what you can actually do is you can delay your power spike on the scaling champion and go into a cull, which allows you to spike a little, like not as soon, a little late, but because of the permanent lock inside of the lane, and the fact that Sejuani's routes are going to be beneficial for any locks that happen in bot lane, we completely just win. We essentially temporarily give up tempo relative to damage and itemizations, but we come out really strong after a certain point in the game. This is like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Polymorph is okay. I mean, this is Dopa just greeting for CS because he needs to get to the wave. And yeah, anyways, that's about it for the Dopa versus Diamond 1. Great.